It's
Me
so
too.
toxic. I really think it's social media. I think that's
Hmm.
90% of like why this era sucks. It's just
I
like
agree. And
I
it's
wonder
and
if
it's
there's ever gonna be like a generation that just rejects it. Like I hope they do. I hope a generation is born that's like, you're on TikTok, that's gross. I'm gonna go build a fire. Like I hope that
Dystopia tonight.
Fuck out of town! Fucking treasonous pieces of shit!
Dystopia tonight.
maybe. I don't know.
People mess up mine all the time too, and it's no excuse. So I feel really, but I think I said it. I'm not going to say it again. We'll see it later. How do you say it?
Agarwal, but
Okay.
I like I think you said it right.
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention. I found out when I was like I just like
so
black
happy.
out when people say my name because I don't give a shit. I'm like, who's gonna remember?
What's the worst? Do you remember anybody butchering it when you go on stage? Like, what's the worst you ever had?
Oh, there was a good one. Well, they all like. I mean, I get Subhah a lot, but and this is a friend of mine, but he instead of a Gurwal, he just went with Argyle. That's what it was. I think somebody called me Simba Argyle. Like he just picked two similar words that he knew and put them together.
He panicked. That's so great.
My name's Orlando Johnson. Please welcome Orange Jobs. Like you can't just.
I had
Simba
2 times.
Argyle sounds like the Lion King in a suit. Like I feel like it's very specific as to
That
what
was
I
his
picture.
professional name. He had a chatterbait soon after on the Pride Rock kind of thing. Like, yeah.
He sold out his kingdom to corporate interests.
Yeah.
That's so great. Timon and Pumbaa are his security guard. They're just like, whoa. I was doing a show in Jersey, and I get to the place or whatever, and on the flyer, they had headliner. My name is John Poveromo, obviously, but they had headliner Joe Palladino and my face, and I was like, didn't even fucking try. So I got on stage, and the entire time I was on, I kept saying that I was just stalling until Joe got here. And I never got, the owner fucking hated every minute of it. But I was like, when he gets here, he's going to cry. He's so good. I'm not that good. But when Joe gets here, and that's all I kept doing. Like I kept interjecting all night. And then I had, do you remember Rascals Comedy Club? Were you around when that was around?
Rascals.
I don't know how long you've been doing stand-up, but it was like it was in Orange, New Jersey, Montclair, and Cherry Hill. It was a chain for a bit. It was like, it was one of those clubs that was around since the 80s, and then the owner got caught embezzling money, and then they were just like, no more Rascals. Like he left town. Like he fucking fled. I don't know why you would do that from a con. Like how much money would you get? Like 30K, and then you ran with it?
Just a suitcase filled with drink tickets. And he went to Argentina. Like, are these good here?
Exactly. We were all like, why did he fucking leave? That was weird. We would have just, would have been fine. But somebody there, the MC, was, I guess, just trying so hard to get my last name correct. And I'm not like a dick about it, but I was just like, oh, it's Poveromo, like you say it phonetically. I think he psyched himself out, and he got my last name perfectly. And he called me Josh. And I was like, welcome to the stage, Josh Poveromo. And I was like, fuck. That was like the easiest part. So yeah, that was the 2 big ones. I don't even care anymore. I'm just like, you can call me whatever. It doesn't matter. No one's like Googling
yeah, plus
it later.
I found out later in life I wasn't pronouncing my first name properly, so I really don't give a fuck.
How did that happen?
Because like I guess my mom never told me, but like I was working with this Pakistani chick who actually like grew up there, so like
Mhm.
and knows the language as opposed to me who doesn't know jack shit. And then she was like, she literally just one day was like, "You're not saying your name correctly," and I was like, "What?" Because my name means morning. Like it's literally the
Oh,
word for morning. So there's like a proper way to say it.
right. And you're like, that is not it.
She's like,
Like,
"It's Subah," and I'm like, "Oh." But then, like, whenever I tell Americans that, I'm like, "It's Subah," and then they go, "Sabah," and I'm like, "That's worse." I'm like, "Let's just do Subah." It's like, because I don't know. I guess that's just
right.
what I ended up saying. And then my mom was like, maybe your mouth is like American and stupid, so you can't say your name properly. And then she just didn't correct me.
Wow. And you mean like the morning, right? Like daytime and not like the sad
Mhm.
morning?
Oh no, my parents named me Grief. That's what they could you imagine?
It's a good name for a child.
That's hilarious. That they were just like, this is really stressing us out. Let's just name her appropriately. Yeah, my
But
last name
death of my
stands for
career.
my last name translates to poor man. And yeah, that's Poveromo in Italian means poor man. And
Oh,
I
Damn.
always say I'm living up to it. So it's financially right on the fucking and then it was actually sweet. Somebody in the audience one time was Italian, and she told me that. And I guess I pretend, when you just pretend that you haven't heard something before to make somebody feel good. So she's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, it means poor man," and I was like, "Oh fuck, that's terrible." But and I think I laid it on too thick because she left and then found me again and was like, "Actually, though, if you break it up," and like she tried to like break up it in a positive spin. I was like, "Ma'am, it's fine. I'm fine." It was like you're working way too hard here. I'm gonna
How
be
do you
okay.
spin that positively? Like whoever gave you that last name was a dick. Like there's no positive.
My dad is a dick. That's not far off. You're not wrong there. He's a dick. Yeah, he's just one of those guys. So I loved you on Jim Jeffries show, by the way. That was the
Oh, thank
first time I
you.
really ever saw you. So that was were you how long have you been doing stand up before you got to write for him?
Oh, how many years ago was that now? We had like 3 seasons, so
Yeah.
that was like before the pandemic. Um, maybe like, and I'm almost at 15 years. So maybe like 11 years.
Oh wow, okay, cool. That's awesome. Was that your first writing gig?
No, I had written for, I think the first thing I wrote for as like a staffed writer was
Yeah.
Comedy Knockout on True TV.
Oh my god, I remember
Cool.
that show.
Mhm.
Did that
I
did that
It's the
like
weirdest thing.
yeah, how
Oh,
did
sorry,
that
go ahead.
no, I was gonna no, you go because yours is way more interesting than my question. Mine was lame. Mine was gonna be just basically it's just gonna be like, what happened to the show? But you'll tell me. So just
Let me tell you about this fucking exec. No, I don't know. I ended up leaving it, but
Hmm.
yeah, I got the job because like I submitted a writing packet, didn't hear anything, and then I got cast to be on the show itself.
Oh, cool.
And at that point in time, now I've done like a ton of acting classes and I'm like a much better performer, but like I was not good on camera outside of stand up. So I was just, and I'm like hyper competitive because of my
Mhm.
psycho South Asian parents. So like I was way too serious about winning and losing. Like I took everything really hard. So the
Right.
audience was not having fun. They were like, what the fuck? Like we're watching this woman melt down. Like it was bad. But I had submitted so many jokes because I had written so many jokes ahead of time
Right.
for like the possible answers that they were like, you should just be a writer. Like, get the
Wow.
fuck off camera, but you should write. You know? And then I
Oh,
ended
that's
up getting
crazy.
hired as a writer.
Do you but now now that you've gotten better and more confident at performing in that respect, like on camera and stuff like that, do you feel like this obviously the pandemic blows for everybody, but it's got to suck for you even worse because you're like, I'm fucking ready now. Can we redo that shit?
Oh, I know. Oh my God, so many things where I was like, oh, if I just known how to do this, like when I
Yeah.
first started comedy, it's like, fuck.
Right. Was it
Oh
just
well.
what was it? Was it like the having to deliver a different because stand up? I mean, you did stand up on, oh my god, I'm gonna blank on her name on her show.
Lily Singh, a little late
Thank
with
you so
Lily
much.
Singh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you it on there too. Was that
Oh, thank
but is
you.
it just like a different thing when you have to focus on like a desk piece and you're the commentator kind of a?
Well, Well, I felt like with that game show in particular, I just didn't know how to like have fun. You know what I mean? Like, especially because I was so nervous to be on camera because I wasn't used to
Okay.
it at that
Yeah.
point. And then, like, I really wanted to win. Like, I was obsessed with looking good. But if I had just not given a fuck, like,
Yeah.
literally, the comic who ended up winning came in with nothing. Like, he almost had nothing prepared. Like, he took, like, the writer's jokes and was, like, good at riffing and was just having fun. And the audience
Yeah.
was like, this guy is awesome. And I wrote, like, a novel. Like, I like, is this a manifesto? Like, should we lit her in studio? Like, I prepared so hard. Like, I was gonna pass the bar exam or some shit. I don't know why.
You literally
I mean,
took
I ended
every
up
role from 12 Angry Men and combined them into one piece, and you were like, "We will not." Holy shit! I gotta find that because that's hilarious. I remember seeing that show every now and again, and I thought it was pretty cool.
It was good. It went for a while. I mean, I think it had a pretty decent run.
Yeah.
And it's one of those shows that was pretty low budget to make. So I think it just kind of like I don't even know how many seasons they ended up doing, but it went for a while.
Yeah. It's sad how like comic shows only get on air when they're low budget. Like
I know.
Tasha's show works because it's low budget. Fucking
Mhm.
who didn't Anthony Jeselnik like had a show too, but also I knew that was low budget or whatever. And like anytime I've gone into pitch meetings for Comedy Central, they would always go, "We're looking for and it would literally be the last show that they barely had to put any money towards. I'm just like,
Ah.
but didn't you just have that fucking show already? Like, don't you want anything else? And it was I remember that for a long time they were looking for another. We're like, we're looking for another at midnight. Can you pitch us that? And I'd be like, yeah. And then all my pitches would start with, so there's a panel of comedians. And they each try to get this guy married. No, no. But it was always like really weird shit, but it's always stuff that doesn't cost any money, which blows.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know
We're
what
all
that
just
is.
working for corporations, you know?
Oh yeah. Do you get like, are you more confident when you're going into pitch stuff because you worked on these shows and you kind of know what you want?
Yeah, I mean, I also like, I don't know. I don't want to be like, I don't give a shit, but like,
No, yeah.
I've failed so many times that I don't give a shit.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're like,
No,
are
I
you
get it.
nervous? I'm like, no, I'm tired. I'm not nervous. I'm fucking tired. Part of
Yep.
me doesn't even want to be here, even though I have to be grateful for this opportunity because fuck. I'm
Yeah.
so tired.
I turned down shit during the pandemic that I had no reason to turn down. I mean, like my age, like it was real, but I'd like something had snapped and I was just broken, and I was just like, they would send me.
Why? What's going on? I don't understand. Was something stressing you out?
You know, I haven't been able to put my finger on it yet. I'm working with somebody. We're trying to iron it out. Everything. This background drops. It's just flames. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, they sent me like I think the first time I had turned something down was they sent me, you know, some dumb audition self-tape shit, right? But I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do a self-tape. I'll fucking get the green screen out. I'll do the whole thing. And then I realized that they wanted me to read also for 6 other people, and they sent it to me at midnight, and it had to be in by 9 a.m. And I was just like, no. It was like we're in Nathan. By the way, Nathan's hot dog commercial. Not to brag. And I was like, I'm really not your guy, but all right. And then they were like, but you know, just bounce around and like, you know, try to cut it. And I'm like, I'm not no. And I just never did it.
It would have been great if you did it and then they just used your tape as the commercial. Like you acting as the guy handing yourself a hot dog.
Yeah, I'll tell you now, right? I'll tell you right fucking now. If they had guaranteed that, I would have done it. But there's no guarantee, and I'm not going to waste my time. Like, that's the
I love
attitude I
that
have.
you had to have a nervous breakdown to turn down that Nathan's hot dog. I think that's the best sign that you're doing well. Like an unwell person would have sat in their basement being 6 different people talking about how this hot dog is so delicious. Oh, I think it's quite crispy. Like you would have
Pardon me, sir.
insane.
I've never looked at it that
Sorry,
way
did
before.
you say a hot dog? That's insane.
I'm going to see if that's still available, and I'm sending them just you and I talking about the insanity of it. That's fucking hilarious. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I think it changed. Did it change your perspective at all, like during the pandemic, like about your career, like maybe how you were doing things?
I think I just got more desperate and more sad.
Yeah, that checks out.
Where I just like antsy to do stuff, you know,
Yeah.
where I'm like, fuck, let me out. Let me do
Yes.
something. Especially because my manager kept being like, don't pitch right now because everything's insane.
Yeah.
So I've just been sitting here like, and then of course I'm by myself, so I'm just writing more and more things, and then you
Yeah.
can't pitch it. So then you just start to get crazier and crazier and crazier. And then,
That's why we did this, because
Yeah.
I was losing my fucking mind, and I was one of those people who was like, I'm not gonna do everybody's got a podcast, everybody's got a thing, I'm not gonna fucking do it. And then there was nothing else to do, and I was like, I want to talk to people I like, so this is the only way I'm gonna do it. And my friends were sick of me, so that
They closed down Comic-Con, so you're like, listen.
yeah. There's only so many times you can go on House Party, and like with the same fucking people, and be like, did they come out with a new game yet, or is it still Uno? Still Uno? Let's just play fucking Uno. Yeah, it was weird, but I feel like it's. I'm not going to be positive and say it's ending. It's not ending, but I was about to twist it, and then I was like, John, don't lie to her. Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't know. I'm like dying to go back out and do stand up, and I feel like every time I get back out and start booking shit, they fucking shit gets taken away.
Cancel.
I'm also not one of those people that's like, I understand why it's happening. Like, I'm not going to be one of those lunatics that's like, I don't know. Our breed, our type of comics who are just like.
I feel like, John, you're having a little mental breakdown right with us.
Can I tell you something right now?
Bringing us along.
I'm not having a great day, and I'm trying to. I'm not like anything's really wrong. I'm just having a real day that's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm like very hyper and kind of ADD-ish, and yeah, go ahead.
I did this podcast. I did a friend's podcast, and I didn't realize how like popular it was, and I did not know that they were going to be taping it. And then like, I was like, right before I found out I didn't get this part in a John Hamm movie. It was literally between me and one other woman, and then I had just been like weeping. And then I came in, and they're like, and then like a couple of the comments were like, she laughs, and then her face just drops. I think she's a psychopath. And I'm like, oh my God. It was so embarrassing because you could just see the depression just seeping out as hard as I was like, that is a stupid sweater. And then I'd be like,
oh, so then I'm glad you understand. Bad. I don't. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I am. Every time I think about shit, like, because I just had one of those days where I was like getting frustrated about, kind of where everything was and what my other dates were, and like trying to book shit. It's been, it's been hell on everybody else. But then you see like people that or that we know, especially in the business or whatever, who are like full tilt banana crazy. And they're just like, I don't know, man. I can't describe it because I love comedians. I love comedy. And then sometimes I'm like, I have one hand where I'm like, oh my God, they're so brilliant. And, comedy's great. And I love the ideas they come up with. And on the other hand, I'm like, these are the dumbest fucking people I've ever met in my entire, and that's what I'm going through. And
yeah, because like, I don't know, it's this weird thing that we do. Like, America's whole thing was we don't want a king, but all we do is treat people like kings. Like, as soon as somebody's like super good at one thing, they're like, now they are everything. They are God. Kim Kardashian opened the Wall Street market. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, someone can be good at one specific thing, and then that's what they do. I'm not even mad. Okay, I'm a little mad at Joe Rogan for giving health advice, but I'm like, why the fuck are you listening to him for help? This is also all of your faults. He's a podcast host.
Yes.
Like,
agreed.
What?
Agreed.
It's so crazy. I'm like, I'm getting like smart in one way and dumb in every other way.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing too. I don't know why you can't have two fucking thoughts in your head at the same time, and they can't be like, It's weird because I'll post up all the time because I have trouble keeping my mouth shut. Shocking. With anything like that in particular. And I'm sure you've seen, or maybe not. I don't know why I assume people have seen now I'm talking to myself, by the way. Great podcast hosting skills right there. John checked out for 2 minutes.
Podcast hosting skills. Great Nathan's hot dog skills.
Right? He was made for that pitch. Your agent knew exactly what he was doing, and you blew it. You didn't go.
I really did. I'm starting to think they were like, wow, he would have been really. We haven't told him he's schizophrenic yet, but
yeah, Bill is like he can use all of his personalities for this one.
Oh my God! Remember? No, fuck it. So there. It would have been a weird tangent and nobody needs it. So, fucking, yeah, but what was I saying?
Sorry.
So, as a young, when you were a kid, did you want to get into stand-up? I don't know where you were going with it.
No, I can't remember what the holy four we talked. Oh no, I got it now. Hang on, we'll get back to the kid thing in a second. That was adorable. The Joe Rogan thing, man. I'll post about that, and I literally get shit from comedian friends that I have that are like, I don't know why they think I'm suddenly against freedom of speech. Which, by the way, the freedom of speech argument is the most laughable. I don't even know how to battle it because I'm just like, what? And then, but I'll also get other people who like, are like, you should never be allowed to speak again. And I'm like, are you nuts? Like, is nobody like able to gauge, like, because I don't really have I don't know why people have a problem with him, because I'm like, as a podcaster, he talks for hours and hours and hours a day. He's been doing it forever. He has some cool fucking people on. He's got comics I love on, you know what I mean? Like, and guests that I love, but I don't want him fucking giving out medical advice. Why is that like this weird extreme where people are like, now you're crazy? Like,
I don't know.
I don't get
it. It's this weird thing where it's like a lot of, I feel like, tech companies not wanting to take responsibility. So they keep pretending that like having, especially people that they're paying on their platforms, is not the same as publishing content. So they're taking, whereas like you can't go on the news and be like, if you get the flu vaccine, your dick will fall off. You can't do that. But like, because it's Spotify, which way more people listen to, there's no regulation. And then like everyone in Congress is dead. They've already died. They're deceased. So they don't know anything about new technology. So nothing's getting regulated.
Right.
It's so bad. I'm like, really is a dystopia. It's so fucking, it's fucked.
Thank you.
Because I think that did change my attitude in a little bit, though, when it comes to like this whole creative thing. Because I kind of gave up on a lot of shit, and then I'm like, okay, there's like 7 things I want to do before I die, and I don't know if I'm gonna get to do them, but these are like the 7, and then it's like rest of it, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like I was trying to explain it to somebody the other day who had who. Basically, I don't know how, but God bless them. I've never said God bless anybody in my entire life. I don't know where that came from.
So Southern of you. I love it.
Thank you. I'm looking to move.
Say bless your heart. Bless their heart.
That's a dick thing to say, though. I've had somebody say that to me, and I'm like, I think they were being disingenuous.
Wait, can I just say that? My fiance is Southern, and it makes me viscerally angry. Because, like, I'll be doing something stupid or crazy, and I know I'm doing something stupid or crazy, I'm just bored, and I'll just be like singing a song really loud at like 8 a.m, and he'll look at me and I'll be like, what? And he'll be like, I love you. And I'm like, no, you don't. I know you're being sarcastic, and you've corrupted the phrase I love you. Now every time you say it, I flinch like I'm being hit. It's like, makes me so mad. I'm like, don't. You've corrupted love. You southern piece of shit. It makes me so mad. I'm like, stop.
That's so funny. I feel
like I have the opposite to that argument, because my wife used to say the same. Because I used to say I love you. She'd be like, what do you mean by that? So she would have the same reaction that you do. I'm like, you got something broken in you. Because you can't just take I love you.
Wow.
No, he's admitted it, though. He's admitted it. He's doing it in the Southern way, which is very condescending. That like, oh, I love you. You're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah, that is, when it's said with a Southern accent, you're like, something's up. I don't know what it is, but they don't mean it the way they say it. I used to work for a guy. I didn't work for him, but he was Santa, and I worked for a like a Santa. I know, I saw you.
So you were an elf? Makes sense.
I honestly cry. I wish I was lying. I was an elf. I did the I worked in a Santa set, and I had to wear like the elf shit. Fuck you, Tom. I'm the right side.
I've never heard this story.
I did. I worked at a part-time thing for a long time as an elf, and I would take the photos and try to get the kids to smile. But this guy was a Santa, and I'll show you a picture one day. It's real. It's all real. I'll tell you about the time I was an Easter Bunny too in a second. But yeah, I would do that kind of shit. But he was from South Carolina, and he would say all this shit to the children, and he was great with this guy was like, because he knew I was doing like stand up on the side, but I'd only started I was only in it for like 3 years, so he'd there'd be a moment like a break, and he'd be like, so you doing any cocaine? And I'd be like, dude, no, I'm like 21, like relax, dude. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm still, it's not that kind of life. But he would do that. He would get the kids or whatever, and they would say something, and he would kind of hate the parents and be like, "Well, bless their heart." And I'd be like, "He doesn't mean it like that." And that kid thinks Santa is a sweetheart. And like, I would just be behind the camera, like, "Holy shit, this guy's a genius. He's telling his parents to fuck off, and he's doing it in a coded language." But yeah, I was an elf for a bit. And I had to be the Easter Bunny for a day, and I mean for a day because the dude who was the Easter Bunny got arrested, and they were like, "Listen." We need you to get into the suit. And I was like, there's no fucking way I'm wearing that suit. And I was like, and I thought I had an out because the Easter Bunny that we had was super tall and I am not. And I was like, I won't fit in the suit. And they were like, we have a smaller suit. And I was like, fuck you. And I had to wear the suit. And then I was never allowed to do it again because you're not supposed to talk when you're the Easter Bunny. And I forgot.
What noises were you making as the Easter Bunny? It's a bunny. What were you doing?
Well, the worst part is that I made a kid cry because I didn't know he was there, and I was talking to the dude who was taking the photos at the time, and I was probably like, literally, I can't fucking stand this shit. And like, and he was like, "There's a kid behind you," and I whipped around and I just went, "Hey, little buddy," and he went and like fell backwards and cried, and he had never heard the Easter Bunny talk, and they were yelling, and I was just like, and he was like, "You're never gonna be allowed to do this again," and I was like, probably for the best.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I can't. Oh.
Please.
But maybe one day you'll get to do a Nathan's commercial.
This is my audition tape. This is what I'm sending in this whole episode. Yeah, so that was fun. Anyway, Rogan. So no, but like I was trying to explain to a dude, the other day who just who's never like really dabbled in it. He was like, I actually don't even know what's going on. And I tried to explain it best I could, but I was like, he has 11 million viewers per episode and he does it 2 times a week, rounded up to a month. That's like 90 million listeners. That's fucking huge. Right. Like, yeah. And then to also like, and no one's opposed to free flowing conversation or hearing other opinions. That's ridiculous. But the fact of the matter is he never pushes back. He never has people on to contest it, or maybe who have like this thing where they're like, okay, look, here's what that guy said and here's what's really going on. And he also takes what they say verbatim and then talks about it on other episodes. So he's just like, it's not like it's just that one episode and he leaves it there. Every time there's another episode and he's talking to somebody else, he kind of references their points. So he's just, hammering it in even longer. So it's like,
oh no, see, like I've never like, there's some things where I'm like, well, that's a dumb thing to say, but I've never been super opinionated because I've never listened to the podcast myself. So that's worse. Hearing that he does that, like, that not only is he not fact checking his guests, he's just taking what they're saying and like that's so bad.
It is.
God,
that's like, it is, and it's because he believes it.
Aunties learn information on WhatsApp. Like you can't do that. Like that's nuts.
Yeah, and it's because he believes it. That's the craziest thing too. Is like people were like so impressed with his like his apology, and I get it because he's not being disingenuous. You can't be disingenuous when you believe your own bullshit, right? So So, but like in the beginning of that, I don't know if you saw it, but it was basically just like he's like, I understand that there's like. Some things that are perceived as misinformation, but I'm just trying to get to the truth. And then he starts to list things that are totally untrue. And you're just like, wow, in the first 3, like, in the first 3 things that he said, because he was basically trying to juxtapose like, well, mainstream media gets the misinformation too. Like when they said the vaccine was going to stop COVID and it didn't. And it was like, okay, but contextually, if we all got the vaccine when we should have gotten it and we got to 90% and whatever, we could have stopped that particular variant of it from mutating any further. And then we didn't because Americans suck and we're broken and not like we're the broken ones, not the vaccine, which I don't think people understand. And then, he had said stuff about masks where he was like cloth mask. We said in the beginning, cloth masks don't work. And then he was like, and now they're saying they don't. And he was basically like, you could get banned from social media back then. And I was like, no, you couldn't. Like Omicron's like, it's crazy to me because I'm like, Omicron is different because the cloth masks don't work and N95s work now because blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like there's reasons for it contextually.
And like science isn't 100% correct because we don't know what's going on. Like anything that's 100% correct is a lie. Like religion is a lie. That's why it's always right,
Right.
Like,
right.
science is looking at the data as it's changing. So of course they got shit wrong. That's how
Right.
you eventually get to
Yeah.
the truth.
Learn.
But
Yeah, it's crazy, and it makes me and
it sucks because like I do agree with him. Like America's media, like our
Yeah.
news is like 90% geared towards ratings and entertainment. It's super corrupt and fucked up and stupid. And
absolutely.
it's like I want to agree with you, but like what you're doing is so shitty.
Yeah.
You know, like I
That's
want
what-
to agree with you, but all the other points are no.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I mean though too. That's what makes it so hard, because it's like we do need somebody to kind of you know, discern what is and isn't what isn't good in the media. We need somebody on the outside, and it's great to have comedians do that kind of shit, because I feel like we're always better communicators, right? Like, even if, you know, I mean, I say that having full knowledge what a Jim Brewer set looks like, right? But like I you know, not to knock Jim Brewer, but also fuck that guy. But like you know, but I think we're good at communicating stuff, especially when, you know, we have the right information and shit, and people like to listen to us, and jokes always help to, you know, I feel like jokes are inclusive, comedy's inclusive. So it's better when everybody feels like they're getting a little entertainment and then a little bit of information. But when you're just giving out bullshit, it makes it worse for anybody who like, you know, I love when he sticks up for comedians and, you know, tries to go like, all right, look, these are jokes and they're not meant to be taken seriously. And, you know, we need to get back to being like a little bit, you know, I hate saying the tougher thing, but you know what I mean? But understanding what a joke is, the difference between a joke and the difference between whatever. Right, you can agree with that. But then it's like, if I, you know, then when somebody does something like this, you're just like, well, fuck now that guy's not the guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
And everybody picks an avatar now too, where they're like, "This is my hero," and they represent everything I represent. And then if you say anything bad about them,
I hate it. It's so
Me too.
toxic. I really think it's social media. I think that's 90% of like why this era sucks. It's just like
I agree. And
I wonder if
it's
there's ever gonna be like a generation that just rejects it. Like I hope they do. I hope a generation is born that's like, you're on TikTok, that's gross. I'm gonna go build a fire. Like I hope that I don't
That'd
know,
be great.
it's really sad.
It might, you know, it's crazy. I was wondering, my friends, you know, or they're having kids now or whatever, and a lot of them are they're like I've seen them limit screen time more than any other generation beforehand, because I think they're just like yeah.
There were like a ton of studies came out where like this is gonna fuck up your kid.
Yeah.
It's really bad for them early on.
Yeah, which makes total sense. I mean, like, you know,
but it's like a pacifier. So like some kids, like you put them an iPad in front of them and they shut up. So that I'm not gonna say bad parents under distress, maybe
Casey Anthony. Oh god, imagine like
you know what? An iPad might have saved that kid.
I was just thinking that. I was like, oh, if only the technology was there, she wouldn't have needed Danny the nanny. She would have just put an iPad. So bad. I watched too much true crime. I'm completely fucked up.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I watched a lot of true crime over the pandemic.
Did you see Evil Genius? I
was
watched
just
it
gonna
the other
ask you
night on Judd's recommendation.
It's great. You have dude.
What is
okay. Evil Genius is a
Don't give it away, but go ahead.
I won't give it away. I'm trying to like, because it's really, really fucking good, right? So I don't know if you remember in like 2003, there was this bank robbery and it was done by a dude who had a bomb around his neck. So that was what I remember. Like from this story, I just remember being in high school and being like, holy shit, like some guy with a bomb around his neck, like a comic book villain, robbed a bank and then the bomb blew up around his neck. That's ridiculous. You know, it was insane, right?
Yes.
Whoa.
And then this whole documentary is about that, and it's about the
masterminds behind it.
And by mastermind, like the craziest thing about this documentary that it took place in Pennsylvania. That's where the bank robbery was too. But they're basically just people that live in like suburbia, right? They're like next to, you know what I mean? Like they don't live in an evil lair. They have a fucking house. They both have houses, you know, they're both like in a community, you know, people saw them shopping in the area, like that kind of shit. And they found this poor schlub who, you know, was kind of, I don't know if he had like autism or something going on, but he was not very socially inept, right?
He was a pizza delivery guy.
Yeah, well, hold on a second.
What?
I'm not saying that that's the worst
no,
thing
but
ever,
you did, as I'm saying he's socially inept and might have autism, you're like, let me explain.
This
You know
was the
Pizza
Korea.
Hut? we really need to re-edit that because we're gonna switch everything so that it doesn't sound like Tom thinks pizza delivery people.
Every pizza you're gonna get from now on is gonna be spit on. I hope you realize that.
Good, I'm staying away from carbs.
This episode sponsored by Papa John's, by the way. Yeah. But yeah, so you know, I think what was her name? Marjorie something was her name, right?
Yeah.
This woman, when you look at her, like, you know, when you can see people and the people say like, oh my God, they've got the crazy eyes. Not fucking kidding. This woman was like literally insane. And so she and this other dude, this one guy's lifelong dream was to fool the FBI, is what he used to say all the time. He wanted to prove he was smarter than them. And they kind of concocted this plan and convinced this pizza delivery guy who was just a lonely dude anyway, right? To rob a bank and with a bomb strapped to his neck. And the dude who wanted to fool the FBI built the contraption. And it could only be opened with like a key.
And he had to go on a treasure hunt, going like clue to clue to clue to clue to clue to disarm the bomb.
Oh my God.
And then when the
This
police
guy's
showed
like
up,
the most annoying douchebag in the face of the planet.
right.
Like to scavenger hunt. It's like, and why do you fucking care about the FBI? Why are you in some weird? The FBI probably didn't know who you were. They didn't care about you. This is like, did an FBI agent fuck your mom when you were a kid? Like, what is this weird feud?
Yeah.
Why are you so obsessed? Well, I'm better than them. Like, why?
Right.
But the best line on the whole documentary is when the FBI agent's being interviewed. He's like, when I walked into the room to interview him, he said, the guy says, I'm the smartest person in this room. He goes, and I looked around, and it's only me and him in the room. He's like, well, that's cool. My wife tells me that all the time. That's where he left it.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird, but like the coolest thing about this documentary is that when you think it ends, when you think it's over, it's still got like 2 more episodes left, and the other shit you find, it's devastating. You got to watch it. It's a real.
If you're a true crime buff, I think you'll love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Which
That's
one?
So funny.
Are you watching any now?
No, I haven't. I've been listening to some podcasts, but I haven't had time to. There's too much fucking TV out there now. It's
it's a lot of content.
Mental.
It is. There's way too much shit to watch, and I get no problem binging it.
I didn't like the Book of Boba Fett, but now I've heard it's become the Mandalorian for some reason. So I'm like, oh, like at some point they just started doing that story instead of the other one. And I was like, oh, now I'll watch. So now
Really? Shit.
Yeah.
I haven't
Isn't
watched
that
any
insane?
of it. It is. I love the Mandalorian, but I did not. I didn't want to wait. I don't know why. What's wrong with me, or why I'm like. But so when Book of Boba Fett came out, I was like, I will catch that when I can binge it.
It's not good, but then it just became the Mandalorian, and it was like, wow, this is bizarre.
That's a really quick change. I like that they were like, this isn't working. Can we steal from another show? How about the it's spin-off from? Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Let's do that one. I should do that next time a show is failing. Seinfeld was good. Can we just do Seinfeld? That's the intro is going to be for Dystopia if this thing starts to plummet all of a sudden.
If Frasier failed and he just went back into Cheers because his practice wasn't working out, and you're like, is this just Cheers now? What the fuck?
When did Norm get on this show?
Oh, that's great. That is fun. He's in his dad's chair instead of his dad. What happened? Norm. Oh my God. Yeah, I watched a lot of true crime shit, and I also watched like, I don't know, nostalgia shit where I was like, I'm gonna rewatch the West Wing when times were good. Supposedly, a fake president. That's when times were good to me. Is when I was like, Martin Sheen, my president. That's what I binged over the fucking pandemic again. I don't know. It's just kind of crazy. But Tom's question: did you always want to be? I feel bad because I cut you off. It's like
no, I just felt like you were going off the rails. It's okay. I was like, what, John? I was like, you seem like it's so much going through your head at once. You're like, I lost it. It was. And I don't know if it's coming back.
I'm gonna collapse as soon as we cut off. As soon as this episode ends, like the aliens at the end of the first Avengers movie when they killed the mothership and they just everything powered down. It's gonna be me. It's a good reference, John. The nerds will like it. Trying to reel in my bass. I have no bass. So what was? Did you always want to be a comic, or what was your dream when you were younger?
No, I wanted to be a professional soccer player like Mia Hamm, but then genetics caught up pretty hard. So that was a no. That was a hard no. I was a little fat kid. They made me play goalie all the time because I was fat. They're like, you take up more space. Like, what the fuck is the thinking behind that? I hated it. And then like I lost the weight and got good at running because I wanted to play midfield. And then by then it was like too late. Like all the girls had like way more soccer experience than I had. And so I was just like, oh, fuck it. Should have just stayed goalie.
At least I could have had the cupcakes.
And then
it was just such a weird thing that they did to fat kid. Every fat kid was just put in the goal.
Yeah, because remember the movie The Big Green? That was the fat kid was the goalie. He was the best. They were like,
we're not. We're self-conscious and you're hitting us with objects. Like, it's really rude. Stop.
There's gonna be a PS. I'm gonna clip that and turn it to like the more you know PSA for goalies. Please help your soccer children. I ran track because I thought I should. I don't know. Like, I was just like, I should really. Yeah, I had no desire to do any of it. I still run to this day, but I really didn't like. I just thought it was an easy way out of not doing a sport or a curricular activity. I was like, yeah, I'll fucking run. It'll be great. And then they were like, yeah, you want to run distance? And I was like, I guess. I don't know. And then I ran distance and I hated every minute of it. I really did. It was, but it was like one of the, like, I didn't know what to do to like, you know, I was in like honors classes or what. Hang on. I'm going to get through this. Give me a second. I was in honors classes.
Oh my goodness.
And then, but like, also it was like, they were like, yeah, if you do a bunch of other shit, it'll look good on a college, right? Like it was that kind of dumb high school shit. So I was like, cool, I guess I'll fucking run track and I'll also do the play. I was a eunuch. That was fun. And then I never did it again. Not because of the eunuch thing. I'm not, you know.
In the play, not in real life. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. I should clarify.
I was a eunuch. It regrew, so that's good.
Stem cells.
Bet you didn't know that could happen. If you get it done while you're young, it comes back.
Like a lizard's tail.
You know what I always thought would be... Yes. Sorry, imagery. But yeah,
circumcision is a subscription. Could you imagine?
That's such a great line. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with any of that, but yeah, it's whatever. I don't know. You know what'd be cool? I was thinking like they should figure out a way biologically to make sure that like, because I always think like, do you want kids?
Me? No.
Yeah, me neither. Right.
Really?
But I feel like people don't like, you know, they're always, you know, people are always telling, I don't know if they tell you the same thing with like, wait, and when you find love, you know, when you get, and I fucking hate that shit. Right. But I really kind of think it'd be, you know, interesting if like when you were young and a dude, if they could figure out a way to tie that shit up. And then, you know what I mean? Like, so I understand biologically it does not work. I totally get it. But that'd be great because then if you really, really wanted kids, you would have it you would have to have surgery to get it undone. And I feel like that would be the best way to do it, right? It's not a bad idea.
No,
I feel like I'm not Dr. Mengele over here. I'm just fucking like, I feel like that's not a bad idea.
All right,
No,
you're tossing out castration.
No, it's not. It's not castration. It's it's, you know, whatever it is, a vasectomy. It's an early vasectomy.
Yeah, I guess like some of them are hard to reverse. It's not as reversible, I think, as people make it out. I don't know.
Oh, really?
I was reading about it
a
little bit. So
I should probably do that before I throw out wild ideas that could cause harm. Well, give me fucking Joe Roganing up here. I hate me so much.
Yeah, I feel like maybe I would have wanted kids if I had accomplished everything I wanted to do, and then I was like bored. But like, kids are like a lot of work. They're a ton of work, and it's like I'm already tired, and I don't want any more to do.
Yeah,
and they're super expensive.
Yeah,
and it's like Yeah, if I was like a millionaire and I had lived all my comedy dreams, like I guess maybe, but we're also
Agreed.
overpopulated, so I have zero desire to do this.
Also agree.
But
I feel like
I don't know.
that's a very selfish thing to think the world needs more of you at a time when the world needs less of everyone.
I'm dying to know
They're
your
so
fiance's idea. Is he
What?
good? Is your fiance good with no kids?
Yeah,
Or
he is.
okay, all right.
Yeah, he's
I like kids,
he
by
can
the way. I
go.
don't not like them. They're fine. I got a lot of nephews and shit. I like how your face is basically like no one said you didn't, but okay. But you know that's
Weird
the like,
statement.
but that's what people. But this is what the problem is. That's what people think.
I have nephews. I didn't kill any of them.
I like kids, not in a Nambla type of way, but I like them. Not too bad.
But that's the kind of shit that like people draw that line when they have kids and they find that you don't want them. They're like immediately like you will one day, or they're like, what's the matter? You don't like kids? And it's like, no, I can fucking, I just don't want to have them. It's a weird thing. I'm having a real night. I'm not kidding. Last night, yeah, I don't know what happened. I feel so bad. I'm not. This is you. She's like, this is normally I'm a little calmer.
I'm gonna leave. This is weird.
No way. I feel like
John hates kids because he secretly loves them too much.
Right. Like I don't hate kids. I got like 3 in my basement.
No.
But I'm not trying to be a father.
They're running the electricity. They're fucking, they're jogging on a hamster wheel right now.
Turning a wheel.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. I have them making iPhones and
a little kid wheel.
They're literally stamping my next comedy out. They're like pressing those things together and we're getting them ready to ship. They think they're great and useful in certain ways. Yeah, I know. I just think it's just a weird pressure thing when you don't want to have, because you're closer to any of that than I am because I don't have a fiance. I'm single, but like you've got a fiance, so it is like a natural thing. I feel like people always assume like, oh, good. I always think kids and the snow are for the rich.
Or the very poor for some reason. It's like
yeah.
one or the other.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, if you're super poor.
Nick Cannon or, work in a grocery store and refuse to pull out. I don't know what the fuck. It's like,
that is so fucking. I used to work at a bank inside of a grocery store, and I swear to God, I felt like there were these, women that were working the cashiers, and all of a sudden, every single other one of them would get pregnant by some low-life dude who worked at the deli. And I remember one girl that worked there whose mother worked there too, and I was really friendly with.
Deli really has the meats, huh?
I really like how hard you fought to get that in there. You're like, John's gonna keep talking about it. Let's let this in.
Stop the story. So stupid.
That's so great. I fucking love it. This is perfect. You're right on board. We're right on the same.
I was going to say, she actually wrote 10 other deli jokes in the time of you telling that. She just couldn't get them all out, so she chose that one.
Oh my God. That's fucking great. So there was one of my friends that was a cashier. Her mother also worked in the grocery store, and her mother was super sweet and always worried about her. And she was dating some guy in the deli, and I remember just being like, for the love of fucking God. I was like, just don't, but you want to get pregnant anyway, because the pull-out method. I was like, what is wrong with all of you? Do you not see your fate? It's lined up right in front of you. It was weird.
It's on registers 4, 6, and 8.
Yeah. I gave out better sex advice than I did financial advice. I had financial advisor written on my name tag, and I was like, people just come out and be like, I need help with my funds. And I'd be like, me too. I don't know. Do you know anybody? Yeah, that's fucking weird. Well, listen, I'm going to get to our last questions of the show because I've kept you for an hour and I've probably ruined your life. I don't know. Do you have anywhere to be?
Me? No.
That's
I just
great.
have.
I always like to know if I just. This is over.
By far, I've laughed more, but not for the right reasons on this cast than I ever have before.
I feel like 'cause part of me really wants to like. She's like, I'm never coming back. Yeah. This is. I had a good time.
It was fun. It was fun.
I don't know if anybody else did. I really don't know. I just, whatever. Anyway. So, really, this is, it's been great. So, fucking last 3 questions, right? We ask all the guests this, these questions. If you could go back in time and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself that would help you today?
Become a doctor. Like, just do what your parents said.
I wanted to ask you that. What did your parents think of all of it?
Oh, they hated it. They hated it. They wanted nothing to do with it. They tried everything to get me to stop. They fucking hated it.
Wow.
And like, they still don't understand it. Like, my mom has told me she's tried to watch the shows I'm on, and she's like, I don't know, I got bored. And I'm like, you could say nothing. There's nothing.
Center this one.
There's
It'll
an
make it
option.
better.
Have they come to see you do stand-up though?
No, I would never let them do that. Like most of my early stuff is about my mom, so that would be awkward as shit. And then just bring her up on stage with me. But like, even now, like, no, I'm like, we don't have the same sense of humor. I'm not like a dirty comic, but I say weird shit. Like, I don't need them in the room for that,
Right. No, I hear you. Yeah, that's got to be rough. I mean, I feel like there's people that still don't understand it, but I guess that for like, if your parents wanted you to become, nobody thought I was going to be a doctor, especially with the snip. They were like, you should stay away from sharp tools and anybody who needs help. So yeah, that was our expectation. They were like, he can read, he can do whatever he wants. Italians. So anyway. The next question is, what had to end in your life for you to wind up where you are today? And it could be good or bad.
What had to end for me to wind up where I am today? That's a weird question. What had to end for me to end up? I'm trying to think that could be so ominous. I'm like, I'm
it's a real thinker. We like to do that every now and again.
Okay.
When I ruined an episode. No, this is fine. I'm just thinking out loud.
I guess I got a degree in actuarial mathematics, and I very temporarily worked as an actuary. So that had to end.
Okay.
For me to be doing stand-up and stuff.
Were you scared?
Of quitting?
Yeah.
No, because like I knew I was always going to quit to do, because I was doing stand-up in high school, so I knew that's what I was gonna do.
Okay.
And then like I picked actuarial science because my roommate was like, oh, my dad says that's a good job and there's plenty of them in New York. So I literally changed my major overnight. Let me be clear, I fucking hate math. And so I changed my major, did no research about what the career was, and was fucking miserable for like years. Because you have to take these big licensing exams that I didn't know was part of the career, and I was furious. I was like, I have to do what? And they're like, you didn't look into any of this before you it was so
oh my god, that's great. I mean, I feel like that's got to be the most terrifying thing to do, because if you got stuck, like, did you ever have a thing like, I might be stuck doing this? Is that why you needed to get out of it so badly? Like, you were like, I don't want to get stuck doing it.
Oh, I just knew I wasn't going to long term, and then I wasn't afraid of being stuck. I think like eventually they were gonna fire me because I wasn't doing my job. Like I was, because they would pay you. They paid, like, I passed 3 exams before I got hired, and then there's like a series of 8 exams, and they give you paid time off to study. And then I would use that time off to do stand up and just fuck around and sleep all day. And then I was like, oh, I'm about to fail this exam hard. Like, it's not even gonna be like, oh, well, maybe she missed a few. Like, I was about to tank that shit, like probably spell my name wrong. I was like, so I quit before I could get fired because I was too scared, which was stupid. Everybody was like, no, everyone at the company was like, just fail and they'll put you somewhere else. Like, you'll get a lesser position. But I just didn't like that everyone was constantly like why aren't you blah, blah? Like, I just felt
Yeah.
so much pressure from my job. I'm like, I just want
Mhm.
something where I don't have to think and no one's mad at me because I was sleeping during the meeting. So I ended up working retail.
Oh, wow.
Retail.
Yeah. I
Yep.
dropped out
My
and then started working at a bank. Like I started working at a bank full time, and then I started doing stand up whenever I could during the week, but mostly on the weekends. Because it was one of the few jobs I had where I really didn't have to work on the weekend, which was like odd because I feel like for our generation that was not ever really the case. It was like we work whenever the fuck we tell you to work, and you're
Yeah.
always on call, and you're like, great. But I did that, but I really I'm bad at math. I should not have worked at a bank, but I didn't know that they didn't care. Like they just sent you to training, and if you're not a moron and you nod and say you like working with people, they give you a tie and a fucking shirt, and you go be a bank guy. And then really, if anybody wonders why there's a financial collapse, it's me. It's that because I was handing out loans like they were fucking. I was like, I need to make quota, and you have a couple
I'm just
Jeffrey dollars.
picturing
So
you like getting handed a shirt and a clip-on tie and be like, here you go, you're a bank guy now. Get over there.
yeah. That's what they took away from me when I quit. It was very much like NYP where they were like, return your tie and shirt. Like, I'm not gonna be able to wear anything else.
Pop it off. Click.
Yeah. It was a weird it really was I'm not joking. It was a clip on. It was a bullshit PNC bank. It was
Did
weird
they
too
rip it off your
because
shirt when they fired you? Like, no.
it just snapped off because it was all buttoned in the back. Like, and it switched around. Yeah, it was weird too because like I remember, you know when you're in high school and like you think there's a real world out there that's not like high school, and then you find out everything is just a microcosm of where you came from. So like I was like, okay, cool, like bank job, like this is gonna be different, and everyone's an adult here, and they really have to handle serious shit. And one day I just got into the back room where we're all working, handling people's money, by the way, on the outside. Back room, there's this poster board up, and my boss is writing our names on it and giving us stickers of achievement. And they were like, this is a reward system. And I was just like,
Oh my God.
I thought we were all grown-ups now. Like, this is high school. Like, but no, really. Like, you were like, you're the
And
honor
how
of
the
the
fuck
day.
did Jerry get 6 more smiley faces than me?
I wish I was fucking kidding, but that's exactly what these people would do. Like full-grown adult people who I was like 21 when I started there, and they were full-grown adults. Like, so-and-so's got more stickers. Well, I got to beat. And I'm like, what is wrong with all? I would like use the petty cash to buy cake. Like, I'd be like, yeah, it's for the customers. Meanwhile, I'm like scarfing it down. Joke's on them.
That was your bank robbery. That was your bank robbery.
Yes.
It was just
Yeah,
tiny pieces of cake.
that's how I got even.
And see that? He didn't even have to have a bomb strapped to his neck to get it.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yeah. So last question is, if you were in a real dystopia and you had an epic death, what would it be? Alien, zombies, volcano. Like, what would be the way you would want to go out?
Oh, definitely not zombies. Who wants to get eaten? That's so gross.
That's true.
You have to walk around decomposing yourself. That sucks. I would want. Well, I guess aliens is kind of cool because that it means that there's other life than humans, which is like great because like
Yeah.
mankind is like really shitting the bed. So I would say aliens because that
Okay.
makes me feel better for the universe.
All right, cool. Aliens. How would you want to be taken out? Like, are you fighting them?
Instantly.
Oh,
like
vaporized.
a mountain lion when they come up behind you and bite your neck and you're just instantly dead. Like I don't even want to know.
That's fucking great. All right, cool. I think I like that was great. Let me tell you a little secret about me. I don't know how to end this show ever. I'm like 100 and something episodes in, and Tom is always shitting on me because I just always like it's like a quick edit where I'm just like, and we're done.
I had a great time. I did
have a great time.
I want to get to know a little bit more about Subhah because I feel like we flew right by her. 90 miles an hour.
We did.
It felt like a hey. As we're in the car.
I don't know.
Man.
I honked real quick and then flew by. No. I had a blast. I mean, it was a
really
good time.
fun.
I hope you had fun. And what are your socials? What do you want to drop?
Follow me on Twitter at Subhah, Subhah, and on Instagram at Subhah, Subhah.
Awesome. Great.
That's pretty sweet that like nobody else has your at for a first name,
Yeah.
right? Like I feel like
Right?
I'm jealous. Damn, my stupid
I
Tom.
also never get the keychains at the gift store.
Oh, that's what we got to make
There's
you
no
as a license
magnets
plate
for me.
keychain.
I can do that. I feel like I owe that to you. She's like, I'm not giving you my address. You can figure that one out on your own. I'll drop it off in a comedy club. I know you're like, you got mail here. Please don't ever do that again. And also, you're on in 5. Oh, fuck. Well, this is great. Hang out backstage for a second. We're just gonna wrap up, and then thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Such a pleasure. See you in a little bit. Bye.
Dystopia tonight.